This weekend, the highly anticipated The Batman movie comes out in theaters. Stick around to see my thoughts now. I can imagine The Batman being on a lot of people's most anticipated lists, and it finally got released with Robert Pattinson in the Batman role as Bruce Wayne as well, and Matt Reeves directing this movie, bringing this character to life in this new take on the Batman. And I feel like these videos don't get that much views for me. I get like 2 or 3 here just because of how big it is, how many other people are reviewing it. So I'm just going to start with my score, and then I'm going to give you my reasons why that score is. So the score of this movie is 70 out of 100. I actually really liked it. It is 3 hours long, but it's worth all that time. It lets you soak up the setting. The movie sits on scenes for a while. You get immersed into this Gotham, into this reality of the Batman and Jim Gordon's partnership. And that was another great aspect of it, is their relationship and how they worked well together. And also the relationship between Batman and Catwoman are great, with Zoe Kravitz playing a great Catwoman, probably the best Catwoman there on screen so far. The story does focus around the Riddler trying to expose Gotham's high-end residents of their corruption, their wrongdoings, and all that, trying to bring justice to this city and right all these people's wrongs and what they've done in the past. And it's up to Batman to try to stop the Riddler. And as he goes along, he starts getting revealed sins of his past, of his father's past. And it's a great detective story and something you're going through the Batman with and seeing and trying to figure out these clues that the Riddler leaves. And all the riddles are very well done, very just smart riddles to have, but the Batman just knows them right off the top of his head usually, and it's just kind of unbelievable that you know all these riddles within 5 seconds. But the overall message of the story is turning vengeance and getting anger and resentment and turning that into hope, and just going through life with a positive outlook. And I think that's a great message for this movie, and something that the Batman is a usual theme in Batman, is vengeance over bettering yourself and not letting that hate build up. And one of the best parts of the movie, aspects of the movie, is the score, the musical score of this movie by Michael Giacchino. It's great. It's something that I'll probably buy on Spotify, listen on Spotify from this time forward. It's so great, and it really sucks you into the movie and just adds another layer to each scene that you're watching on screen. It's just a great partnership between the music and this story it's telling. Along with the musical score of this movie, the acting is very great by these young actresses and actors, and older ones too. I think the Penguin was really well done by Colin Farrell. You don't even see him in the role, and it's something that develops throughout the movie, and you're going to see him in sequels down the line, and I think that's great. And I think he has a TV show coming out on HBO Max. I'm very excited to see after seeing this performance. And also Jeffrey Wright's performance as Jim Gordon is also really great. Maybe the best Jim Gordon. Jeffrey Wright really does not give a bad performance in any movies, and it's just great having that development of this character throughout the movie with Jeffrey Wright portraying it. As I mentioned before, the connections in this movie between the characters are very well developed, very earning, very just overall, you know why they feel a certain way against each other. And that goes with Catwoman and Batman's relationship. You know right from the go that these guys are attracted to each other, they like each other, they love each other. And it's just getting through that story that's so great to see on screen. And also I like the Catwoman and Falcone connection as well. It's very good to see that in the movie, and just see that relationship develop, and what it becomes and how it concludes is very cathartic for the movie as well, with this side little plot there. Also, as I really mentioned a little bit before, is the Gotham look. It's very similar to like New Orleans blended with New York. I really like the look. It kind of looked like the 1989 one, but just a little updated for our times. You get the Iceberg Lounge club in this movie, which is good to see. And it has very gritty feel to it. It rains all the time, kind of depressing, that Seattle weather blended with New Orleans and New York. Skyscrapers in New Orleans like setting. It's very well developed Gotham, and just as a character all on its own. Now on to one of my biggest criticisms of the movie with the Batman is the character of Batman and Bruce Wayne. But first, I just want to say that it's very cool gadgets, really good fight scenes in this movie. You see each punch land great, and the choreography of how the guys come in to attack Batman is believable and really gets you, it's intense and gets you on the edge of your seat. And Batman has all these cool gadgets. The eye recorder is awesome. His grappling hook is great, and just all these little things he has on his suit is really good to see. But the biggest disappointment in this movie for me is Robert Pattison. I feel he's a little bit miscast in the role, and it's not the Batman I would have liked to see. It just seemed like he was a moody, crybaby-ish Christian Stewart in real life. No offense, but it just has that vibe of, oh, I don't care. Oh, this is a teenage going through puberty angst Batman. It's just not appealing to me whatsoever. I very much prefer Ben Affleck. I think he's the best Batman. And then Michael Keaton, and then I think I would put Val Kilmer even above Robert Pattinson in the Batman role, but George Clooney still is at the bottom. But again, it's very close. This Batman is not something I liked in the movie, and probably the biggest disappointment and why its score is so low at a 70 as it is. If it wasn't for Robert Pattinson's portrayal of Batman, the movie would probably be like at a 90. But unfortunately, it's not. It's at a 70. And then just some other stuff I didn't like was the car chase scene. It didn't seem grounded in reality as everything else was. And even though the Batmobile was very cool in this movie, very slick, very kind of like muscle car looking, like updated to our times. But it was just like the police are in the hunt for him, and he's in this car that's very recognizable, and they don't do anything to like track him down to find him and all that. He just does what he wants in this car, and it's just kind of unbelievable. And that car chase scene is just unbelievable as well, and very cloudy in the rain and dark. It's very hard to see, I feel like, and they need to like just brighten it up a little bit and not make it so dark and gritty, and then tweak a few things to make it more grounded in reality than it was. And then lastly, Andy Serkis as Alfred, I gotta talk about. It's a character that I thought was underutilized in this movie that I think Andy Serkis could have done great things with. He takes a back seat to this story. There's not really much for him to do. You don't really get that strong relationship between Batman and Alfred. There's a few scenes here and there, but I really wish there was more of that development between the two, and just development of Alfred and how he is in his life at this point and what he's experienced in the past to help Bruce through stuff he's going through. It's just, I feel like potentially stuff was lost. Maybe it'll get developed in a TV series on HBO Max or in the next movie, but it's something that I would have liked to see more of Alfred than I did, and his character kind of gets put on the sidelines after an event happens, and it's just disappointing to see. But the Batman, it is in theaters now. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and just tell me your favorite Batman portrayal as well about the actors who played him. Thanks, guys. Bye.